Hey everybody, it's Ethan McKinley and welcome to the 2-Minute Terminator. I am Ethan McKinley. On the other end of the line is my charming co-host, Ellie Fitzgerald.
Buongiorno!
It's a lovely clear line on Zencaster. We've been asked obviously to mention this because Zencaster, anyone in listening in podcast land, this is how we kind of do it. And they're charging it now. So.
But it is a great sound and that is what you're going for, so you get what you pay for.
This is true.
You get what you pay for.
Well, I wish it'd show on the equalizer that you were speaking as well.
And it says, "You're not my real dad." That just reminds me of that story that Martin told me.
Well, we'll get to that just after we say hit the music. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
Load up.
You didn't do the fourth. Thank God. It sucked. Yeah, it sucked.
Yes, this show is called You're Not My Real Dad, obviously intonating, or like, well, I mean, this is about You're Not My Real Dad. Jai Courtney is, of course, doing a command theatrical performance here.
It's so
as Carl
bad.
Reese. It is, isn't it? Do you not think he's like...
Do you know what it made me think of? You know that scene in The Mask at the very end when they're in the casino and he pretends to be shot and goes...
Yeah.
Literally, as I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, I've seen this before in The Mask. Yeah, it's terrible. It's so bad. He's like, what? I'm his... No. He's ours? Oh my god. It's like, oh, fucking hell. This is
Also,
so bad.
15 seconds into the clip when Emilia Clarke's pointing the gun at John Connor.
And she goes, that's not John. No,
Yeah,
shit.
but it's just the way they've shot it. It obviously shows how tall she actually is, and just like I don't know, it's just not, they've not shot her from a flattering
They
angle.
really haven't. But we're massively jumping ahead. Can we just discuss about how blasé Jai is when he finds out that actually he's the father to John Connor? I mean, he seems a little concerned.
This is the first thing I was gonna.
I would literally fall to the ground with my hands on my head, screaming. Like that would be the most messed up like head fuckery ever. Do you not think?
Yeah,
that'd be
but he
like,
doesn't convey it in his
that'd
acting.
be like finding out that your partner for the last 20 years is actually your brother or your sister. Like it would. Although in my mind that'd probably be pretty hot, but. But in this scenario, think about, especially if he ever had homosexual thoughts about him. Because come on, at the beginning of the film when they're talking, they're very close and there's almost heavy breathing and. And John even says in this scene, he's just like, this is a chance for us to be together. And he looks at Jai Courtney, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake, drop it, man! Like you've just told him that you're his dad. Like enough of the weird, creepy sexual innuendos. If there had been any kind of weird, like, Top Gun bromance going on, he's just found out that's his son. You'd lose your shit.
Yeah, no, it's well, he does lose his shit in a way. I just don't think it's obviously like sadly. I don't think he's a bad actor as well, Jai Courtney. After Suicide Squad, I think he acquitted himself quite well, playing a kind of Brogan type chav character.
Such a small part. So the bits he did get.
He was,
yeah.
Funny. I mean, he wouldn't say he could carry a film. I wouldn't say it was
a testament to his acting. I guess it was more he was playing on his own strengths of just being a bit of an idiot Aussie. No?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just, yeah. It's just his reaction. It's just like, but what? I don't know. I'd love for Gary Oldman to do the same scene, and just see how well that panned out. And you go, oh, okay, I see the sharp
they've
contrast.
Given Jai Courtney Valium or morphine and then told him. It's like, what? He's my son? Really? I don't know. Just very young.
By the way, at the start of the clip, Ellie, there's the bit at the very top of the clip when Jason Clarke does this kind of little head cock. Obviously, show off the special effects as the nanotechnology or the nanobots kind of like reform in his face, and the last remnants of that you see within the scars in his face. He gives this kind of like 50 Shades of Grey sexual ecstasy
I
head
know.
toss. It's like,
A lot of this is why I feel like there's some really heavy gay undertones going on in this movie. There is something going on between John and Kyle. There really is. I don't know what it is, but there's
I
something going on.
I think that's John. That's John's inner monologue. I think fighting back the gay, and he goes, and the machine goes, no, and he goes. So the machine part is like they're wrestling
Real
inside,
talk.
literally.
We just need R. Kelly to come in.
Real talk. Did you say there were robots there?
Yeah. Anyway, we then get.
By the way, when Pops is looking at John Connor's own use of the Terminator vision, it really reminds me of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode when they get. Is it Homer's brain and they put it in a robot and he goes, "Hello, I'm your daddy," and it's through like the Terminator vision.
Yeah,
it's just
so
like
good.
that.
I hadn't thought of it, but as soon as you said that, yeah, I could definitely see it. There is a little bit of.
Yeah, I was going to say, listeners, if you have just joined us, by the way, we break down the Terminator films. I've got to say this 2 minutes at a time.
We're actually talking about the film, Ethan. We're not doing your regurgitated garble that we hear every bloody week. Let's just cut it out this time, seeing as you got to say hit the music. Let's really, throw the listeners off. Let's just go straight in for the thrill. Wait, you see what I did there? There was a bit of a homage back to Terminator 2 when Arnie walks in and he has the roses, but with the gun inside, and then he drops the roses and exposes the gun. Well, he does exactly the same thing in this scene, but this time the decoy is a huge teddy bear, and he kind of just shoots the gun through the teddy bear's head, which I quite liked. And then we see that the Terminator, who we could possibly have thought if we hadn't seen the trailer, had gone evil. Oh God, he switched to evil mode, and kills John. But we're about to find out that actually he's a weird nanobot. Spoiler!
Well, again, I think if I was making this film and we had this script, I would rearrange this scene. I wouldn't have put in the trailers, which, by the way, listeners, I mean, any fan of Terminator knows this. They always give away the twist
in the goddamn trailers.
In all the films. In the second film, I'm pointing at you, James Cameron, as good as you are, maybe they sold the whole movie on this, sadly, but like... The idea was going to be 2 Arnolds going back, then they switched it to like this not regular looking guy, which was Robert Patrick and Arnold. Fair enough. But like I said in that one, if they rejigged the edit on that, you wouldn't know, and you hadn't seen any trailers, you wouldn't know if the Terminator was evil or not. So when he comes out of that elevator, or sorry, when he encounters John, you think he's trying to kill John as well. The T-1000, you could have rejigged the edit. I mean, in this like that. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, when you see the guy get killed, the cop at the start of Terminator 2, and it's Robert Patrick comes around naked. It's just like you should have seen the cop get killed off camera, and the cop should have been Robert Patrick. So when you see Robert Patrick again, or you see the cop encounter something like in The Thing when someone walks into the room and it fades to black, you wouldn't have seen the replication of the cop, but it should have been Robert Patrick, so you wouldn't know who was good and who was bad. By the same token, in the trailer for this, they show you that John Connor is now the Terminator. Now, had they not shown John Connor get attacked by Matt Smith, Doctor Who Skynet, you wouldn't have known if he was a robot or not. He could have just made it through time and, I came from the time stream as well. And then Pop should have come out and shot him, and then he should have raised himself off the ground. And they go, "What are you doing, Pops?" And he would have explained that, Dad, robot. They could, if they just, I don't know, flip the scene.
It does make sense.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Does that make better sense than what they've actually got in the film?
I think that you would have directed these movies way better.
The only thing you'd actually lose is like the three-way Mexican standoff when Joy points the gun and goes, "Don't shoot the gun at my dad," essentially.
You're not my dad.
And then. Yeah, and then they're kind of like facing off against Pops. I just think they could have Pops should have just walked out the door and just shot him.
Yeah.
And then in his dying breath, she's going, "I'm your father." And then he's going, "What?" I don't know. I just think
they could have made it a lot more dramatic.
I think he shouldn't have. I think he shouldn't have revealed himself. Is what I'm essentially saying. Exposed himself.
So we've got 3 ways. We've got exposure. It's all happening. Bit of incest. What we thought was gay love.
I will also.
Carry on.
But I was going to apologise, actually. My clips have been running consecutively and not on repeat, so I've actually gone through all my 4 clips and talked about them retroactively.
That's exactly what I thought, but I was bringing it back, don't you worry.
Yeah, the gay little look we get is actually in minutes. The
It's
next
fine.
episode, minutes 108 to 106. By the way, we are going from minutes 106 to 108. If you just joined us, I'm a bit discombobulated, listeners. I apologise. And me and Ellie have been working so hard with our respective lives. We've only been able to knock out 3 shows a week. So if you've been missing us, we apologise.
But it's not through lack of love or want. Now, when
From one.
hey, I've actually been really bloody good.
Maybe I was talking about me, Ellie. I might be talking about me. No, I wasn't.
So we see John get shot. Jai runs over to him straight away. He's like, oh my god, he's going to die. John Connor's going to die.
It's an old man with grey hair shooting loads over a middle-aged man.
Literally,
Ellie's
I
in
could
hog
not be more
heaven.
excited. Apart from if Pops just shot Sarah in the face, that would be so much hotter. So Pops then goes over to Jai Courtney and grabs him because Jai is about to go mental. Goes, see, he's a killer. Rah! And then Sarah goes over to Pops and points a really small little handgun at his head. Would that actually terminate Pops? That small little handgun. So what is
No.
the point?
I think it's just a show of
Fight
like,
against him.
you ain't running this. I'm
No,
in
she's
charge.
not in
You follow my
charge. I'm
orders.
sorry. Nothing that has happened. All the things that they are doing now have either been decisions made by Pops or by Jai Courtney. The fact that they are even in 2017, whose choice was that? It was Jai's. This is my point with Sarah Connor in this film. She thinks that she calls the shots. She thinks that she's badass.
She's an ineffectual character to the story. She's
Well,
like
not
Indiana
quite.
Jones.
Indiana Jones was at least a bit of a badass and a bit of a cad.
No, because, well, the last Indiana Jones film we saw together was Raiders of the Lost Ark at the
Which
Royal
Ethan
Albert Hall with
loved.
the live orchestra.
Not.
Ooh. No, I was just going to say, like, there's a fan theory going around, and it kind of holds up that Indiana Jones has no effect on that story whatsoever. He doesn't stop the Nazis getting the Ark. He kind of hands it over to them by discovering the Well of the Souls. And then they take the Ark to the island. He hitches a ride on the sub, follows them, and then they basically capture him again,
Yeah,
and then they
true,
open the Ark. So the outcome of it all was the Nazis open the Ark and all get killed by God. So Indiana Jones bears no kind of like meaningful or positive influence up or down really on that story.
Yeah.
In fact, he makes things worse because they probably would have delayed the discovery, if at all, if Indiana Jones
Those
hadn't
pesky
intervened
kids.
with the Staff of Ra, with the headpiece on that shoots the laser beam of sunlight to like where the Ark is. By the way, Ellie, speaking of the Albert Hall, we were going to go and see Aliens at the Royal
were.
Albert Hall last month, weren't we?
What happened?
Do you know what happened there? At the end of the film, who walked on stage? James
Fuck
Cameron
off.
and Sigourney Weaver.
Fuck off. So the one
Did
that
you
we
not-
didn't go to.
Yeah. Yeah, James Cameron was in the audience and he got up and went on stage and thanked
my God,
everyone for
that
coming. He
actually
hoped
makes
they all
me
like
feel
it. Blah, blah, blah.
Because
I
you were
know.
like, yeah. 'Cause you were
It was
like-
on Screaming Joe. It
Did
was
he
on Screaming
go?
Joe Sangray's feed. He went to it with
Oh,
Drew and someone else, but like,
God.
yeah, James
Can you
Cameron
imagine
showed
if
up
we
on
bumped-
stage
I
and
literally
waved
could
at
not
everyone.
Bump into a worse couple.
No, you
No,
wouldn't
but
have bumped. It's
Ethan,
like,
come
what
on,
was it,
it's us. We
10,000
would
people in
have
the
fucking
audience?
bumped into them. You know we would have. That would have been just our luck. Me being with you, and then us. No,
Ellie went
it
on a
was
date
not
with
a
Screaming
date,
Joe
though, was
apparently a
it?
couple of months ago.
Let's not. We've already covered this. We've been
Okay.
there. I can laugh about it now, but my God,
All right,
and to
well-
see Drew as well. Oh.
The point is, James Cameron showed up on stage at the Aliens live show at the end. I'm
but
sure it was only a
still.
brief appearance.
Oh, I don't
But,
care. Do you know what? I was in
yeah,
the
he
same
was
room
there.
as John
I don't know what he's
Carpenter
actually
this year, and he gave me rock fingers and blew me a kiss. So I'm sorry. I'm happy.
In the the only problem with the John, listen as well. Well, last month we went to see John Carpenter. We do a lot together, don't we? So weird we're not together. I don't want to be, just so that wasn't a hint put on here. John Carpenter was like 5 feet away from you, Ellie, but he kind of made he made the glasses motion to me. I was like,
It wasn't
oh,
to you. It was to me.
people with glasses. But then he didn't have glasses though. But then he diluted it by doing that with glasses to everyone in the audience. And he was doing the rock sign and point to people in the audience. He kind of was like a bit again like Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
He
but-
didn't have to really be
Yeah, but
there because
Ethan,
his
what you have
son
to
was
remember
doing all
is
the
this
work.
is the first time he's ever done like a tour of his music, so he doesn't really know how to put together a performance and perform on stage. Everything he does is in a studio.
I know,
think
but
he did an amazing
not-
job. And
I
how-
know. You're defending him, but like he's been on that tour
I
now for
don't
about a
care. It was
year,
literally-
all over the world.
I've seen so much live music. I've been to gigs. I've been to see literally thousands of DJs. I've seen bands. That has got to be one of my favourite experiences. It was so good to hear music from films that you grew up watching and you know and love, and someone that's hugely into music, especially like synthy 80s music. That, oh my god, I said it was for you, but really it was for me. Like, that was fucking amazing. I enjoyed it so much. Ugh, brilliant. Thank you, John.
By the way, Lee, despite being considered a reboot that defuncts the existence of both Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines and Terminator Salvation, the final film, this film of course, Genesis, its plot resembles one proposed as the sequel for Terminator Salvation. With the exception of Judgment Day. The only thing that's different about that plot device, or this film basically, this is what the Terminator Salvation sequel would have been, this film. It just changes the Judgment Day times from 1997 to now 2004, or in an alternate timeline. So basically this was going to be, as I said before, John Brancato had fingerprints on this as well, the guy that famously hates Cameron and hates the Terminator franchise, who wrote Terminator 3 and Salvation, as we mentioned a couple of episodes back. Yeah, this was going to be the pseudo-sequel to Salvation. They were going to kind of find the time equipment, come back in time, and this would have been the film. So even though it kind of like throws out the baby out with the bathwater, it throws out 3 and 4 as ever happening, and this was going to be a reboot and a rewrite of the series. It is still the kind of bare bones of a script that was going to be the sequel to, weirdly, Terminator Salvation.
Amazing. You've
There we
really
go.
been doing your homework.
Well, no, because 3 and 4 were basically meant to be a new trilogy, and then they messed it up. So each one of those films was meant to be the start of a new trilogy, and then they messed it up, and then they did a rethink with Salvation. That was meant to be the start of a new trilogy. That didn't do as well as they thought it would, and then they've tried it again with this, and the same thing has happened, even though Arnold, as early as like I think February or March this year, just past 2016, we're now at the end of the year in November, said there will be a Terminator, there's going to be a second one. But nothing really has happened, and I think Paramount has sold the rights or is selling the rights, and Skydance as well. It's either Skydance or Paramount, I'm sure. That yeah, it's all up in the air again, basically, waiting for some other schmuck to buy the franchise.
Is that a Jewish word? Schmuck.
Schmuck? Yes, I think it's your foreskin, the discarded foreskin. If there are any Jewish listeners out there,
let us know.
Please let us know. I'm pretty sure schmuck,
schmuck is a discarded foreskin. Nice.
Is a schlemiel. I don't know what that is. That's another Jewish word. There's lots of so
gotta love a Jew.
By the way, Lee, screenwriters Laeta, Kalogridis and Patrick Lussier also worked on Scream 3. They're the people that kind of wrote this
You're getting all the
movie.
facts in there today. Get you, Mr. Fact Attack. Can I just ask a quick question?
I am.
How did Pops know that John
yes.
was actually a Terminator?
He actually
Does he
explains
know?
that in the later clips. So we can't say it without spoiling the movie. Well, I think basically on a basic level, I would have just thought, basically. I would have thought, because he sees John, a strange person there, leading them out. He knows that's obviously not good, because they know not to trust anyone. So they're clearly leaving with someone that they would consider a trusted person. So I can only imagine he's gone, unless that person was somehow important or had hoodwinked them in some way, they would not be leaving this hospital with a stranger.
Oh god, the security on
who else would be
this
helping them,
hospital
really?
is just
That's the only thing I think of.
Another.
Well, not really, because John Connor has done his homework, and he obviously turns up as a police officer because they let him through. And then he goes, "Officers, can you help me with moving the suspects?" And he just kind of shoots them with the taser gun. My only issue with the taser gun scenes in these films is, in the old movies, taser guns used to knock people out cold. Like, they'd shock you and then they'd fall down. In all those like police brutality taser videos you see on YouTube and stuff, they just go,
Well,
and make people go, "Ow, ow, ah!" I'm not sure if you can turn them up or down or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, in the old movies, you'd kind of have this kind of like, God, what's that condition people have?
that's
Sleep
horrible.
paralysis, which I think they go, the aliens came, and it's actually sleep paralysis. I thought you got some sort of kind of like waking sleep paralysis. It shocks your body and it's kind of shutting down.
No,
And
that's
you can't
date rape,
move, and
babe.
then whatever will be, will be. That's rehypnol. Yeah, well, he tries to give the 2 cops to you like pills. He goes, have these. And he's just waiting in the corridor outside the room
Mate,
for like
it'd be
4
so
minutes.
much easier. It'd be so much
checking
easier
his
if you
watch.
just gave him a couple of shots of G. Seriously. So I've got a lot of trouble.
Well, it just seems in those real life shock like police videos when they like tasering someone, you have to hold your finger on the trigger to keep the charge going through it. The person's going stop it, and you know what I mean. It's not. It doesn't like kind of like just take them out. Like you're going click, and you're like, all right, you're physically disabled now. I can now cuff you, and you're not going to hit me. As soon as you take your finger off that trigger, you stop shocking them. They just get up and punch you in the face. No, I don't know.
But talking about being punched in the face, when Pops goes after Jai, because Jai's obviously gonna, I don't know what he thinks he can do against the Terminator. Pops has Jai by the throat. What actually stopped him from killing him instantly? He's a Terminator.
Well, because he knows there's a mission imperative or an empirical, I guess, rule in his mission to not kill him, because he's got to become the father of John Connor, the leader of the Resistance. His whole thing, the reason he's here, is to train her, train her, and make sure those two mate.
Can we also discuss how
puts
she
a wee
doesn't
bell in
actually
it.
seem that emotional at the fact that her potential son has just been shot? Because she doesn't actually know at this point that he's a Terminator yet. I would have thought that her maternal instinct, even though she's obviously never met him, her son has just been shot. She didn't run over to him. Jai ran over to see him. This is what I mean. Jai is so in. Jai has got it hard for John. He really does. And then he finds out he's his son, and now he's all confused. See, it's just incest all round. But yeah, I would have thought that Sarah would have at least run over to see if he's okay, but no, she doesn't.
Yeah, because she reacts like, John, as if like, oh, it's my son. But she's reacting as if, well, we've discussed this on Ad Infinitum. She probably remembers another timeline with him in it. But yeah, you're right. Her reaction to his death in commas, she's like, huh? And then Jai, who's then literally found out 20 seconds ago he's the dad, with, as I said, the world's greatest acting.
It's like a bloody stroke.
It's really kind of Saved by the Bell moral kind of. This is the moral of the story at the end of like a Saved by the Bell, or like a, what is it, an after school ABC special on like American television with like stupid actors going, what?
No,
Do you have a gambling problem? It's that kind of thing. It's really kind of.
Also, what did you think of the? I actually really like these special effects, where the blood then kind of like coagulates and then becomes.
I like those special effects.
I thought that was really cool. I liked that, and I like the sound it makes as well.
Yeah. My only issue, though, and I'm glad you brought that up, is like it comes out as blood.
Yeah,
and then it kind of converts to machine. So
this is the next question that I actually put down on my note.
Is there blood in his body, or is it all machines cloaked as blood because it's molecular size? So is he basically like a machine version of the thing?
Is that, I don't know, because it's then when he gets up, he kind of does like a reverse, like Michael Jackson move. He goes, did that hurt, or is it a trick of the memory that they, and then it cuts, because that's when my 2-minute cuts off. But what I'm thinking is that it's like I said a few episodes ago, it's a bit like Blade Runner with oh god, what's her name, the main brunette chick, and she has all those memories implanted in her, so they're kind of like downloaded. So John, when he comes back and goes, was that pain, or was this like a downloaded memory? So this, yeah.
Is it live or is it Memorex, as
did
Jeff
John know
Goldblum
he
said
was a
in
Terminator
The Fly?
before he got shot? And was it the shot that then triggered him into Terminator mode? Because if he wasn't, when he did first... So when he got shot... Yeah.
Oh, I get you. Like the thing, so he's not activated
when he initially got shot, maybe it was blood that came out, but then that was the trigger, and then the blood then turns into the nanobot material.
So the dormant nanobots go, we've
like
been attacked, we need to kind of regroup. And,
so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Because every time they shoot him after that point, you're right, the scars in his body is all very kind of nanobot-y.
Maybe he needed to be killed as a human to then trigger off the nanobot. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I mean, though. Is he like the thing? Because like the thing replicates you so perfectly. And unless you've listened to the John Carpenter and Kurt Russell commentary, you don't know you're the thing. You could have been killed ages ago, and you're not even you anymore. And it's only when you're cornered or attacked, or you're alone with someone that the kind of like the what do you call it? The algorithm, if you will, kind of activates the secret coding, the Order 66. If you watch Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, yeah, like that. So it's kind of
yes.
Oh, you got it. Well done.
And they are all my notes.
The worst accident I ever did see. 2 bodies they dragged from the wreckage, and they look like this. Large Marge said me. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, would he know he was a copy of John, or would he be aware of it all along?
Also,
I don't know, because he is kind of like
anyway. Because in the next clip, he then starts recounting what happened, but maybe he only remembers that now that he's become a Terminator. Maybe that's what's happened then. Have we cracked it? Oh my god. I'm going to say I've cracked it in my own head.
I don't know, it's whatever you want it to be.
Man.
Yeah, but it is basically the thing, isn't it?
Did you have any cock-ups?
Yeah. Sadly, no. Oh, by the way, yes, sort of.
Oh my god, we did, yeah.
We had a letter. We did. I'll find it now. Hang on, bear with me.
It's okay, Homer.
It's okay, Homer. Nashamon, a guy wrote to us about a video from our season 3, which was Terminator 3 episode 9, the night Jose Barrera should have called in sick.
Are you Jose Barrera? God, that was wrong.
This guy writes in, I came for the Jose Barrera info, but stayed because of the commentary. I don't mean to pick it apart, as it was quite actually entertaining, but for a few points, your first cock-up in commas is inaccurate. The stripper clearly has leather pants on. I have no idea what he's talking about, by the way. The stripper clearly has leather pants on, not blue jeans. And I wouldn't imagine a stripper being well off enough to buy expensive Italian leather jackets. So it should look a little cheap. Not that I know a lot about backstage logistics of a strip club, but I'd imagine the clothes are just a prop from the dresser room.
I don't know, man.
Right before the show.
I've watched RuPaul's
yeah, you
Drag
bring your own
Race,
stuff as a stripper.
Those bitches are fierce, man. They are
they're very,
fierce. They are
very
working that
well,
garment. Work that garment. Anyway.
It's a male stripper in Terminator 3. Remember, it's like it's a male strip bike. Remember?
Yes.
Also, Ellie, phone alarms in 2004. Phones had alarms, but regardless, it wasn't an alarm going off. It was a text message based on her immediately relaying to her fiance that there's an emergency at the clinic. So she was sending a text, and it wasn't an alarm. The next point. Of the TV being grainy, flat panel... God, who is this guy? Flat panel TVs existed before 2004. Sure, but not for all of them were like high definition. Just being that they existed. It doesn't mean everyone owned one. I certainly didn't. I didn't get my first flat screen TV until 2006. And it cost a lot of money. As for the ones you can buy for like $199 this Black Friday, we're selling for $8,000 back then. You can assume that the owner is wealthy... but even many beach houses at the time, where it is assumed wealthy owners live, still have tube TVs. The most likely TV for the time in an upscale house was a large standard definition rear projection TV. You all wanted to know that, I'm sure, and this guy set you straight in it. The second cockapelli is of the drive-through. While atypical, it is not wrong. It's a real restaurant in Los Angeles. I think we kind of said that, didn't we? Which, by the way, is basically a dessert for your best friend. I'm not sure what he meant by that. We should go back and actually watch the episode he's talking about. So, yeah. By the way, it's basically a dessert for your best friend.
Anyway, moving swiftly on.
No idea what that means. And no, he's wrapping up. Sorry, everyone. The layout of the speaker is on the driver's side window. Is actually on the passenger side. So the speaker is on a different side in real life to the one in the movie. Also, Ellie, robot cat. I don't think it's in the movie, but pretty sure I know what film you're talking about. And it's a dog. Look at the ears and tell me how it's a cat.
No.
Does that make any sense
but
to you?
But then again, it was so long ago.
Yeah,
I've actually chosen to forget that whole film, let alone the fucking podcast we did on it.
Well, he seemed to like it, and that's the main thing. So, Nashamon, thank you. And new listeners, Ellie. We've got even more listeners from India.
It's mental. I think they're doing it for follows though. Yeah.
You think?
Well, no,
because you
like,
can't follow them back as a page. They either like your stuff or they don't.
Maybe they're trying to indoctrinate us into ISIS.
So yeah, we have lots of like Thai and Asian looking people and lots of Indians. So I think in Asia we're a kind of big hit. It's just the our peeps in the West don't care. But anyway, if you want to actually watch the clip in question we're talking about, you can go to 2 Minute Terminator, as I just wrote the letter from, or read the letter from, on YouTube. So we've got a 2 Minute Terminator at YouTube for our in-video commentary every day, like Mystery Science Theater 3K style. We've got a Facebook page with the greatest collection of stills and clips ever from all the Terminator films, 1 to 5, and the series. And we've got a SoundCloud page, and we've got an iTunes page. If you go to... I'm inward singing... you go to the iTunes page and leave us a lovely review. It would really help. We would appreciate it. If you don't want to donate any cash to the show, that's
Ethan
fine.
doing a female thing when you say, "Are you okay?" And they go, "Everything's fine," when really it's not. Donate, you cheap bastards.
But yeah, we do it for the love, and thank you for listening. I'm sorry we're only getting 3 shows out a week this week. Most weeks so far, because we're actually just so busy with our other lives, sadly. And unlike the other podcasts, I actually put this on. No, I know, but that's like a day, and he only has to do 2 a week, and it's literally him talking into a mic. As does I think some of the other podcasts don't have a YouTube channel. We're the only ones that do, where we actually put the clip in, and to render that and upload them is a pain in the ass. But I do it for you. I bleed for you, now bleed for me.
I dare.
Anything else,
try.
Ellie? I
Happy
dare to
Easter.
try. Baby, we'll see you on the next one. 34 is coming. All right, knock it off.
Watch out for machines. They're unstoppable. Watch out for machines.